Senator Bill Cassidy returned to the U.S. from Israel after seeing images of some of Hamas's murderous attacks against Israel.
Sabrina Wilson has more on that, plus why an Israeli native and resident says his trust in some of Israel's neighborhoods has been rocked.
It was just a regular day. Nobody thought of anything.
I spoke to him from Israel on a social media app and agreed not to use his name.
We heard the bombing and a little bit, but it's not near to us.
Still, what Hamas inflicted on thousands of other Israelis is hard to take.
Most of the people of Israel are watching the news, following the news, preparing for something to happen.
Louisiana senior U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy traveled to Tel Aviv, Israel over the weekend as part of a bipartisan group of senators and spoke from there.
At the end of the day, the most powerful meeting with the family members of those who have been taken hostage.
Back in the U.S., Cassidy held a media call.
We visited Tel Aviv, where we met with Prime Minister Netanyahu and the War Cabinet, had conversations throughout the day, an extended conversation with Benny Gantz. Minister Gantz is a retired Israeli general and a former minister of defense. He had run against Netanyahu, but he joined in a unity cabinet.
Cassidy is strong in his condemnation of Hamas.
When Hamas goes and kills babies, they're killing babies because their goal is to kill all Jews. It's not rhetoric. It is their intent.
While in Israel, he saw photos of some of the carnage.
They showed us pictures of a young girl who had a kind of a party dress on, or not a dress, a tube top. She had been at the concert and she was slumped over with bullet wounds. It was just heartrending.
President Joe Biden travels to Israel Wednesday amid the war.
I very appreciate this. I really hope we stand behind his words.
However, Cassidy doesn't favor sending U.S. troops to fight on the ground in Gaza.
Americans should not be on the ground fighting a battle in Gaza. This is a war between Israelis and Hamas.
And as for the Israeli I spoke to, his feelings about Israel's neighbors in Gaza have changed.
Now there's a feeling that you cannot trust. You will never trust.
Israel's military urged 1.5 million Palestinian civilians to leave northern Gaza ahead of an expected ground invasion by Israel in response to Hamas's attack. On calls for the U.S. to take in Palestinian refugees, Senator Cassidy said the only option now is for there to be a temporary arrangement in the Sinai desert next to Gaza.